Hey y'all, today I wanted to review some brush tip watercolor markers that are a little different. They're a knockoff kind of bargain Amazon brand. These are called Couleur dual brush watercolor markers, draw paint blend, 12 colors and a free blender brush. So they're water-based markers, and they're really just designed to be, just like a really cheap alternative for the Tombos or any kind of those watercolor brush tip markers that you typically see. Just like a really affordable alternative. So I just kind of I did a Tombow video recently and wanted to just kind of look at like a more affordable alternative to those. Oh! Bombs away. I'm doing a new video setup, if you can't tell. Clearly I haven't quite gotten it set up right. So I was going to try to lay these out all like aesthetic. I'm not sure it's going to work. Hold on one second. Okay. Hopefully I don't knock them down again, but we'll just be real careful and see. So these are the Couleur. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it really is, like I said, just a Amazon knockoff. And I just realized I'm not even in frame. Let me adjust that a little bit. Dual brush. So, give you a closer look at the marker here. This is the brown. No color names, numbers, anything like that. They have a brush tip. So here's a closer look at your brush tip. And a fine tip. So let's swatch. And then here's our red. This is a very stiff brush, if you were wondering. And a very scratchy marker in general. Just to give you an idea compared to some of the other ones we've used. And I don't know if you're noticing when I use that brush tip, it's definitely not staying together real nicely. So, oops. If you look at this, when you kind of push down on it, how it kind of splays out like that. That's not something you'll see with like a higher quality brush. Definitely that doesn't mean it's not something you can't work with or that isn't something that still isn't worth using. You still can get those. Let me show you. Like you can still get a fine line and a thick line, but you'll notice like the fine line is lots less controlled compared to a higher quality brush tip. So you don't know if you don't try. if you weren't aware, I do start with a lot less pressure at the top of my swirls for the brush nib and then increase my pressure as I go down. And if you're noticing, there's definitely not a lot of difference in that. So that definitely speaks to the fact that the brush tip is more of a novelty on these than a truly like useful tool. And this one, you can see it really just at one, after just that one use, you can see a huge difference in how it's already holding damage. So unfortunately, like with these, you never really know what you're getting until you try it. So I would probably say these are not the best, but they are like a water-based marker with a brush tip, and if that's something that you wanted to try out and explore, you could definitely give these a shot. But if you have any experience with a brush tip, you'll definitely be disappointed with these. And if you're looking for a quality brush tip to see if you like them, this is going to definitely not give you a positive experience with them. So if you do get these, I would not base your decision on do you like or want to invest in brush tip markers off this. Also, I noticed it said it came with a colorless blender, but I did not receive a colorless blender in this. So I was going to try out the colorless blending, but I'm not going to be able to for you guys, unfortunately. And I don't know if that was an oversight or false advertising or kind of like what the deal is with that. But there you have it. The full set of the Couleur dual brush tip markers with your swatches. They're pretty colors. I definitely think the color quality is nice. I don't have any issues. Like, there's very little bleed through. This is a fairly thin paper that I use for just a moleskin journal. So like minimal bleed through for a water-based marker. But also these are not, if you're wanting to try out brush tip markers to see if there's something you like, I do not recommend these being your starting marker because these are not a quality brush tip. That said, their fine tip nibs are actually pretty nice, and a nice watercolor marker if you're looking for just some inexpensive watercolor markers to try out. Thanks for hanging out with me today and checking out some new markers. Here's the case for you again. If you wanted to check them out, try them out for yourself. Again, not something I think I would recommend. A bummer I didn't get that blender brush with them. I think that would have maybe made it a little bit more worthwhile if I could have checked that out as well. If you do order them, hopefully you get that as well. But otherwise, thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you again next time.